So I thought today I would show you guys our goats and our goat setup. When Nate and I moved here and we got the gardens in and we got the chickens, after that we decided that one of the food sources that we didn't have available to ourselves was dairy. And so we thought about maybe getting a Jersey cow, but the infrastructure for that with the fencing, I would have had to set up a separate electrical line for that. As well as housing and all that. It was going to cost around $10,000. So we decided to go with dairy goats instead. And so I'm just going to show you today really quick how we house them, how we fence them, and sort of our setup for them and why we chose them. So let's go take a look. So both of our girls are Nubian does, and they are both expecting. So there's a couple of reasons we decided to go with Nubian goats for our dairy goats. And that's because, one, they are a dairy goat. Two, they're good producers of milk, and they also have a high butterfat content in their milk, higher than other dairy goat breeds. And the last reason that we decided to go with them, which was probably mostly the deciding factor, was because I have some friends and they have been raising Nubian goats for years, and so they're kind of like our mentor in all of this. If I have questions, I can ask them. They've kind of walked me through everything that I need for this birthing process and milking and everything else. So that is why we decided to go with these guys. And so hopefully we'll be having some milk very soon from them, and then we'll have to learn how to make cheese and all that other stuff. So our fencing for these girls is just an electric netting from Premier One. It's actually poultry netting, but it works very well for them. And then you can see right here, we have a solar energizer that energizes that fence for us so that we're not having to run electricity to it. And those are fantastic. We really like this setup. Right now they have 3 lengths of fence that are 164 feet each. So they have a little over 400 feet of fence line here. And the reason they have so much right now is because they are expecting. We wanted to bring them up close to the house, and I also wanted to put our little milking barn in here so that I don't have to fight with them trying to get them in and out of the fence every day when I'm gonna milk them. So this fence is about 4 feet tall. You can see here, like, we have a few extra little supports in there to kind of hold it up if it gets a little bit droopy, which I highly suggest getting if you guys are going to go this route. So when we first planned on getting the baby goats last year, we went ahead and built the structure that you see behind me. It's 8 feet by 8 feet, and it's just framed up just like a normal wall that you would frame when you were building a house. And then we just went ahead and put sort of a shed roof on it with a little bit of overhang this way. Now you can fully stand up in there, and we thought, gosh, this is going to be a great structure for the goats. We'll throw a gate on it in case we need to isolate somebody. So we built this structure on the driveway, and when we built it, we put it on skids, which are basically just landscape timbers, and we threw some eye bolts in there so that we could hook a chain to the tractor and pull this wherever we needed it, because we were going to be rotationally grazing the goats. So we hooked it up to the tractor, we went to move it, and the whole thing sort of just tweaked out of shape. So we realized that, hey, first, this thing is way too big to be moved, and second, we need to do a lot of extra bracing inside. So we went ahead, we braced it up, and then we were able to move it and keep it in a nice square shape. And what we did is we just put it on the side of the property, and we've just really been using that to store some landscape stuff, some peat moss, that kind of stuff, because it's really just too big and cumbersome to move. So here is the smaller structure that we decided to build for the goats once we realized that other one was too big. It's basically 4 feet tall on the front and 3 feet tall on the back, and we just used fence pickets to kind of make the walls for it. And then we put on this really lightweight roofing. You can get it at Lowe's or Home Depot. It's sort of like a metal roofing shape, but it's made of plastic, so it's lightweight. We did go ahead and put this on skids as well, and so we can move this, and this moves a lot better than that bigger structure. So here's a quick view of the inside. This really keeps the goats nice and dry, and we have some good straw on the ground for bedding. And we also built this hay feeder here to keep their hay nice and dry, with a tray underneath to catch any of that hay that might be falling onto the ground. But what's really nice about the bigger structure now is that we've gone ahead and moved it into their enclosure. We've moved them up close to the house since they're going to be kidding, and I wanted them close by, and we threw a gate on it. And so now I actually have that set up where I can milk the goats in the morning and at night and have a little bit of cover over me. So I'll show you the inside of that. So the milking barn, we also used that white material on to keep it lightweight, although it's a lot heavier than the other structure. But you can see we've got it on this side, on the other side, as well as on the roof. And so I've got a gate here because my girls want to be in here because they know that this is where they get their grain. And you can see that we have this on skids as well. And so we just kind of hook the tractor here and on the other side over there, and we just drag it. I've got my milk stand set up in here. You can see it's nice. If it's raining, I'm covered. I don't have to worry about the weather, which is great. And then I think on this other wall, we're gonna end up putting in some shelving so that I can keep towels and things for when I go ahead and wash the goats before I milk them. Cream's a little angry right now because I opened the gate to go in there, and she tried to get in there because she thought she was going to get some food, but I wrestled her back out. So this is our goat set up to help bring dairy onto the homestead. So we should be expecting baby goats here today, and then again in about a week or two. I'm not super sure about Cream's due date, but I know that Peaches will give birth either today or tonight. So anyways, guys, wish me luck. This is my first time kidding. These girls are first fresheners, which means that this is their first time kidding too. So none of us really know what we're doing here. We're gonna just do it, and we're gonna get it done. And I'm hoping to get a little bit of footage for you guys. So anyway, say a prayer for us, say a prayer for these girls here, because Peaches looks pretty uncomfortable and I'm feeling kind of bad for her. So anyways, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today, and I hope y'all have a great rest of your day. I don't think you're supposed to be doing that, Cream. You're supposed to eat from the bottom. We built this hay feeder in here to keep their hay nice and dry, but they would pull a lot out and a lot of it would get wasted. So we put this little tray on the bottom, and that's helped a ton so that they don't waste their hay. And I'm not sure why Cream is up here like this. She's obviously agitated and angry about the milking barn because I wouldn't let her in. And Peaches over here, poor thing, just came in to lay down. I'm pretty sure she's having some contractions, and I think she's just trying to have a baby over here. So there's a lot going on today, a lot of goat drama here. One angry, one hungry. So